I'm attorney Eric Guster with Guster Law Firm, and I'm going to talk about the George Zimmerman trial. I've tried hundreds of cases, and I know a good case opposed to a bad case. And the prosecution, they don't have necessarily the best case in the world. When I was on HLN last week, I told them, now Zimmerman, he's a liar. If he lies about being out on bond and trying to get out on bond, he'll lie about anything. I think he's guilty. The big issue is not whether Zimmerman is guilty, but whether the prosecution can prove that he's guilty. Because you have to remember, you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a person is guilty. And the burden is left on the state to prove that, and that's the problem with this particular case. See, he told some lies, and some very big lies, and I'm going to go over them one by one and explain to you the lies that he told and why this man is actually guilty of this. But remember, they have to prove it. That's the problem. First thing that Zimmerman said, he said that Trayvon was circling the car, going around the car, but let me tell you how I know that is a lie. Because Trayvon never did it. And Zimmerman never told the 911 operator, hey, someone's going around the car. But in a taped statement, he said that Trayvon was following him going around the car, which is a big lie. That's lie number one. The major issue in this case is who was the aggressor, because this is a self-defense case. The first person who hit the person or was the aggressor is the main issue. And we're going to talk about that right now. Don't forget that Zimmerman said these a-holes, they always get away. Those are his words. And in my mind, if a person says these a-holes, they always get away, he is going to go and stop them from getting away. Because remember, Zimmerman wanted to be a police officer, and he was trying to prove to police that he was police worthy. And I think Zimmerman approached Trayvon and said, hold up, you don't belong here. You're not supposed to be in this neighborhood. And Trayvon, who knew that someone was following him the entire time, had to fight back. Imagine if you walking down the street and somebody's following you from behind and you're like, hey man, why is this dude following me? And then all of a sudden somebody grabs you and you're at night. It's dark, you're scared. What are you gonna do? You're gonna fight for your life, and that's what I think Trayvon did. He had to fight for his life. The next thing that Zimmerman said was, I couldn't see a street sign. But we know that's a big lie. There is proof that there was a street sign right where Zimmerman was. And remember, Zimmerman had a flashlight. That's another lie that he told in order to get himself out of trouble. Remember, if he lied about being on bond and how to get out of jail, he'll lie about anything to stay out of prison. He killed Trayvon with no provocation. That's what I believe. The next lie, he said that Trayvon jumped out the bushes. Just boom, jumped out the bushes. Now, folks, let me tell you something. That did not happen. Because did you see the pictures of those bushes? They were many, many yards away. How can he jump out of the bushes and jump on Zimmerman if he's on the sidewalk? Another lie that he told. Remember, Zimmerman will lie about anything to stay out of prison. If you lie to stay out of jail, he'll definitely lie to stay out of prison. Let's get back to the aggressor issue, because he said, hey, I wasn't doing anything. I was just minding my business, and this guy jumped out of some bushes, right, and attacked me. We all know that's a lie. But let's take the other scenario where he confronted Trayvon, because remember, Rachel Gentile said that she was on the phone with Trayvon when some man walked up on him. And that is what I believe happened. And Trayvon had no choice but to defend himself. Because just like I said a little earlier, if you're in the dark, in rain, and some stranger jumps up and grabs you or accosts you, you're going to be nervous and you're going to fight for your life. One thing for sure, Zimmerman did not have a uniform. He didn't have a badge. He had no identification. I mean, he's just some strange dude in jeans and an orange jacket over here grabbing on somebody. I mean, he is creepy. That would be creepy if you were out at night and someone grabs you like that. You would fight for your life just like anyone would. And there's not one person who's never experienced someone that they thought was following them. There's not one person who lives in the city that looked over their shoulder thinking that somebody was following them. And that's what Trayvon experienced. That's what he told Rachel Gentile. And she told the story. She told the truth. She knows that he was being followed by Zimmerman. Everything in their timeline makes sense. So let me get out of the advocacy role for Trayvon and get back in the lawyer role. This case is about murder. The prosecution, they don't have the strongest case. And that's what we have to remember, that they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt whether he committed murder. Quite frankly, unfortunately, I don't think they'll be able to get a murder conviction because it's not a lot there to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, because they have 6 jurors who are going to make that decision, and it's totally left up to them. I want him to be convicted of murder. I think he got out of that car with the intent to stop this young man in order to prove himself worthy to be a cop. But I don't think they have enough evidence. Remember, the state of Florida has to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that he's guilty of murder. And that's a high burden of proof. And I'm going to tell you what reasonable doubt is. I've tried a bunch of cases and I'd use reasonable doubt quotes all the time in trial. A reasonable doubt is one where you can put a sound, sensible reason to. For example, reasonable doubt is, I think the person is guilty, but, or I think the person is guilty, however. Yeah, I think he's guilty, but suppose Trayvon jumped on him. That's what they're going to say. And the defense attorneys are doing an excellent job of defending this guy. Yeah, I think he's a creep. Yeah, I think he's wrong. Yes, I think he should be in prison for a very long time. Because if he stayed his tail in that car, like the 911 operator said, "Excuse me, sir, are you following him?" "Yeah, I'm following him." We don't need you to do that. That's the key. We don't need you to do that. He should have stayed in that car, so he should be found guilty of manslaughter or murder. Give us a conviction because this is wrong. A young man who was holding Skittles and a can of tea was shot and killed for no reason. He did not approach Zimmerman. I don't believe there's any evidence of it, and Zimmerman is guilty. The issue is, can the state prove it? And the big question is whether Zimmerman is going to testify. Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, number of truth, so help you God, I do. I don't think Zimmerman is going to testify because all of his information has come out through all of his witnesses. You remember his best friend who already testified, the various videos and of his testimony, those things have come out and he does not need to testify. Keep following me on Twitter at Eric Guster, and don't forget about my website, ericguster.com, and check with newsone.com for more information. And make sure you follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/Eric Guster. Follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Eric Guster. And of course my Twitter, at Eric Guster, because I am using Twitter to give a play-by-play about what I'm seeing in this trial. Make sure you share this video with your friends if you agree with me, and make sure you follow us on Twitter, at Eric Guster. Thank you.